All right, review episode 4. The house announcement has come and gone, and I'm like a month between these now, and I don't know why. It's super easy to make them. It's just a pain in the dick to do the descriptions. We ended last time. If you don't know, because you're new here, I hit 200,000. Thank you everyone for stopping by. This is where I go over my old reviews, and we're about 5 years old with the review. Well, we are mentally. I'm going to start this timer that says 25 minutes. Put that right there. And we're just going to talk about the other products that I've reviewed in reverse chronological order, or forward chronological order? Forward chronological order. Like, for example, 5 years ago, I talked about the $9 Google Cardboard VR headset. I still think if you've never tried VR, literally any sort of phone-based plastic box one from Amazon is going to work well enough to at least let you know if you hate it. So yeah, I mean, Zeos, link one of the plastic ones like you're going to throw out because you've already got an index. Basically, I don't own my index because I've never tried it. I'd try the Google Cardboard first. Adam Hall monitor pads. Well, that was just the foam pads that like you put your foam is still relevant in 2020 to put your things on. I don't know about the Adam Hall one, so that's weird. Oh, in case you're wondering why I'm doing this, YouTube has decided that list view, that's to 2019. We're just going to erase that so you can't possibly put it with the description on the side and the thumbnail on the left. So now we're fucking stuck with this. Thanks, Google. You're helping out a great deal. YouTube is like, you're looking at this on YouTube, so it's like the Behringer MS16 powered monitors. I remember those being bottom of the barrel then, and I didn't have much experience with speakers. So I'm going to say pass. The Behringer MS16s are a pass. With a separate sound demo. This might be the first iteration of having a separate sound. I don't remember. Was that a thing? I think I talked about it before. The SMSL SAP4S portable headphone amplifier. I have that in the drawer back there. I loved that thing. I got that and Porta-Pros at the exact same time, and audiophilia was abound. Like, that thing was great. I wouldn't recommend it now. Now there's better, smaller. The FiiO X1 Mark II is like about the same size as that, but balanced and crazy. And then even better than that is the HiFi Hip DAC. If you want something that's like the best, cheapish, $100 around portable amp DAC. That was just an amp. The amp DACs now, obviously. The Audio-Technica ATH8500X. Okay, so me yawn. Okay. Did you all yawn with me? Apparently, if you have like a what's that thing? When you're a nice person, you feel other people's feelings. You'll all yawn with me. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to do one of these. Yeah, empathy. If you have a lot of empathy, you'll yawn with me. And if you yawned, please, I'm sure there's a comment below that said I yawned, and I'll vote that. But the Audio-Technica 8500X was my first taste of that Audio-Technica life, and someone sent those to me, I believe. And I have behind me on the wall the 2000X, which was my gift that I bought myself when I moved into this apartment. I'm gonna miss this apartment. We're all gonna miss this apartment. But I'll have central air. I have to turn off the air conditioner at 95% humidity outside because you'll hear it. And I shouldn't have to do that in the future. But those were the headphone until the Ship 9500s arrived. They were the headphone. They were the... Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. Just let me get this through. It's something about reading my own reviews. This is, oh my God, 2015 announcements. What was I announcing in 2015? Why? Why is there an ad? And look how zoomed it is. Do I want to send notification? Block. 104 likes, 1 dislike. 3,000 views. Can I go over here and skip this fucking ad?
So get to advance.
I don't want to get to advance. I don't want to go to anything. Stop it. Am I allowed to show ads on YouTube on ads? 2015 announcements. Hey, that's that monitor. Shh. I'm moving out of this room, out of this state.
Wow.
A place where I will have space.
My God.
I'm going to have a roommate out in Philadelphia, and I'm taking over his living room, pretty much.
Wow.
And I have to pick and choose now what I'm taking with me. Boxes are being packed as we speak. So, boxes are. What a mind fuck.
I want the patron to pick up a little bit more. I've got quite a few people on there now.
So 5 years later, Patreon has gone enough to pay for a mortgage for a real house. That's wild. Now I gotta watch that now. Holy shit. I gotta see what the date was. I know I moved into this apartment in February, so that had to be Christmas time. I'm wearing long sleeves. Anyway, apparently in 2015, I needed more space, and I moved here. And 5 years later, I need more space, so I'm moving to a house. There you go. The Z reviews for the Micca PB42x. I have a problem with the PB42x's where they are not as good as the MB42x's, but like an amp. They've always been they're enough. They're like the fucking minimum. Any edifier set, the 1700 BTs I reviewed, will kick the PB42x's ass. Now, if there was an RB42x, that might have a fucking, that as a self-powered might win. But really, no, there's no reason to have the PB42x's. The amplifier in it was not that good. The power supplies were cheap. They really went like bare minimum for that. No. The SMSL SA60, that was a really short-lived amplifier. I still recommend the SA50. I did it last time. But the SA60 sort of came in. The SA60 was like the dawn of digital features, like a digital power button, I think. What else did the SA60 had? It had options that I don't remember, and I don't care to remember. Like I think it was just too expensive for what it did. I know the SA50 remains, and there's like an SA50 Plus that's completely like revamped with Bluetooth and everything else in it. I'll link that. New versus old Micca MB42x physical differences. There's a whole separate 2-minute video for just the physical differences of the Micca MB42x. This is back when that was important. Like, that's still an important thing. Like, I think I still sell, according to Amazon, like 30 pair of MB42x's. People just find that old video and like that one. Get RB42x's, not MB42x's, if you can afford them. Unless you just throw them in the rear, then it fucking doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still using MB42x's in the rear. The Micro Covo S mini speakers. Unless I bought more of them, those are the exact speakers that are hanging in my bathroom for music. Hooked up to an SA36 amp. Hooked up to what was a Chromecast that is now a Alexa Puck. I'm trying not to yawn again. Sound demo for those. The Pioneer Spec 2 Singing. I don't know why it's called this Pioneer Spec 2 Singing, but that's my father's Pioneer Spec 2. It's a Class A amplifier with capacitors the size of soda cans, and it was making weird noises. And I have it in the other room right here, attached to the rack. The problem is, it throws a protection circuit after like 20 minutes of use. The longer I let it sit, if I let it sit 8 months, it'll work for 45 minutes, then throw the protection circuit. If I let it sit for 1 month, it'll work for 15 minutes and throw the protection circuit. So it's going to be brought to like a real amplifier repair place. I'm sure they're going to have to swap all the caps out and do all sorts of weird things to it. I kind of feel sad if they had to do that though, because the caps are they're just so big. They don't sell capacitors that big anymore. Repairing a passive sub, that was my father's old isobaric push-pull Yamo, without a tube that you could reverse the tube, and it has a picture on the side of it to like put it in a car. It showed him putting it in a fucking ceiling and like running a hole so that it would shoot bass out through a hole in your ceiling, or a hole in the floor, or put it in the trunk of your car. And it was like the most universal sub ever. And the thing was pretty good. I think I had that wired up to the center channel of the home theater at my parents' house for a while. Pioneer Spec 2 review. 5 years ago, 21,000 views. That's pretty decent. I probably built those 21,000 views over a long period of time. New digs, boom. Moved into this apartment 5 years ago. 3,400 views. I should watch that video. I'm probably going to do a new digs review of the house, but I'm going to keep a little bit. There's got to be sections of it that are like private. I'm mostly going to be, the basement's huge. Like if I could have my entire working life in the basement, sim racing, VR, reviews, sound room, storage for speakers, I'll do it. And then I have a garage and everything else. It's gonna be great. The ultimate headphone stand. That's a tablet holder. I have that. I just found it packing up. That was a 3-prong tablet holder that like the thing's pivoted so you could grab your tablet. And it was you could stand it up vertically and then just hang headphones on 3 different things and it would rotate around. It was like a little headphone carousel. Zeos, if you could link that, you asshole, you fucking asshole in the fucking past. This one, Zeos is a dick. Link that ultimate headphone stand. I think we've gotten a little bit beyond that. When I got this like Iron Forge stand, it was like $240, but I didn't pay for it, so that's a pretty nice stand. But that ain't no tablet that holds 3 and can rotate. The Patreon giveaway setup. SA60 plus MB42? What? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I see that's my Ultrabook, which is what runs my review desk still. That's my bed. I recognize those pink walls as my old bedroom. That looks like a Micca boombox. That's so weird. The Takstar TS671. My word. Those things were huge. If I could still find them, I'll link them in the description. I'm going to link everything I need to link in the description. And I'm going to link those. Even if I can't find them. Just so you could look at the picture of them. They were LCD big. And like dynamic and cheap. And I don't remember what they sounded like. But I didn't want to keep a pair after the guy let me borrow them. So I'm like, I guess that's really like the judgment of things is, does Zeo still have it? Because if he still has it, he probably fucking liked it a lot. Tascam DR44 versus DR40. I had, the DR40 was my father's. I bought the 44. Used that for like 3.5 years, 4 years. Switched to the Zoom H4n Pro for my sound demo recordings. That's already packed up in the box for the move, by the way. That's one of the first things I packed because the microphones are expensive as shit. And I'm gonna pack gently. It's with the waifus. Oh, in case you haven't noticed, there are no anime waifus. Like the house is devoid of them, and that's very sad. There's none here on the monitor or anything. So it's really like the sign of the time. It's like it's time to go. If there's no waifus, this ain't a home. But yeah, so I've swapped it out for the Zoom, and other than being slow to start up, it seems like a superior piece of actual hardware. It records really well. Wow, look at the living room at that point. That is fucking wild. My roommate was definitely still living here. That's his table and his green rug that used to be in there. I don't know why he had a green rug on the rug. He was to hide cables, but it was so ugly. Ugh. Anyway, that was a sound demo for that. ZHow, wall mounting a flat screen TV. If you want to watch some face reveals, that 43-minute video has got you covered. And you can tell because it's 6,000 views. ZHow, wall mounting a flat screen TV. In the new house, I don't plan on putting a TV on the wall upstairs. There's already a TV hanging up in a fucking corner. And I'm going to pull that shit off of there because it looks ugly. And I'm going to build like a rolling cart. Like just a really beautiful piece of furniture that matches all the other furniture with like rubber wheels that you don't see because skirts. This way I could roll a TV wherever I want it. It'll have a laptop built into the cart and it'll just be on with a UPS. I can roll it all the way around and you'll see. You'll see when I'm going to get there because it's going to be a fucking nightmare. That house is not designed for my way of life, but oh my God, it's beautiful. The StarTech 42U rolling skeleton rack. That fucking thing. I actually have 2 of those. I bought one and I loved it so much I bought another. But yeah, those are coming. Those are probably both going down the basement. My new desk is gonna be real weird, by the way. Like I have no idea how I'm setting anything up or where it's being set up. So you're gonna have to just give me some time. I'll use this time a little bit to describe what's going on with the channel because this video is coming out much more recently than like the ones I've recorded. I have like 50 videos recorded. Sound demos, these videos, 4 or 5 of them, and just review after review after review after review that the patrons are all getting dribbled and you guys are getting so that I can move into the house without having to worry about working. So when the first video you see from the new space is going to be well into August or September. Just saying. I might do one like that I shove in the middle, but I have reviews from this apartment that are going to go all the way through August. The HiFiMe DIY Saber Tiny DAC. That was basically the world's first dongle DAC, but it was a full-size USB, and it was a box on the end of it. And it worked. It didn't make any sense at the time. Like, no one needed it to be that small, unless you were carrying it with your laptop. That was basically the predecessor to, like, the Dragonflies and all the other dongle DACs that are like the Zerda. That was the first, and it was good. I gave it a 10-minute review. How the fuck did I do that? I don't understand how I could pull 10 minutes of review out of that little thing. I have the Mad Dogs there, so obviously I gave it a run for its money. And I'm holding a hammer. Zihow installing a speaker mount. Oh, there you go. There's the Covo S's being mounted in my bathroom. So I had to get a hammer and put the thing in, because now the speakers come, those Covos have a 1/4-20 screw terminal on the back of them. Back in the day, they did not. And I had to install it myself with a drill and a hammer. The Sony Mdr Ma900s. Those headphones don't get enough praise because no one knows what the fuck they are. And they were basically a giant dynamic, like 70mm dynamic, in a weird ass cup where the pad itself wasn't representative. It didn't like seal. The actual headphone had a gap. Like you could stick your finger between where the pad was mounted and the actual driver. There was an opening. And that made it feel very airy, and it tilted the drivers out. And I don't know why that more, like there are other headphones that are not headphones, they're ear speakers, like the AKG 1000s, whatever the hell the model number is, where they just touch your head and then they just hang in front, or like those RAL ribbons. And those Sonys were basically that, but a dynamic. $300, and they had really good bass response. I remember that much. I think they weren't quite up to the snuff of like modern Sony as far as sound goes, but they did a really cool thing. Like that was, I like interesting, cool, quirky designs. It was great. Brainwaves HM5s. I don't know why, there's just a sound demo. I don't know why there's just a sound demo for that. Oh, I got my new recording rig set up. I got the recording rig set up. That's another old Zoom. I used to use a Zoom, the little stick Zoom, with just the actual microphones removed and shoved into rubber ears or silicone ears. So there's just a sound demo for Brainwaves. I think we talked about Brainwaves. The Mirage Nanostats, just a sound demo. Here we go. I don't think Mirage is a business anymore. And those were omnidirectional little tiny speakers. Or actually, my Chipotle here on the main line used to have Mirage like PA speakers in the store, because they didn't have the thing for the standard heresies to be in there. And they were giant 6.5 or 5.25 down firing with they basically shot the driver up on an angle. Then they had the dome here, and they had the tweeter with another little dome, and it did a nice, beautiful dispersion. My friend still uses those for his rear channels. He's got a set in his kitchen that are on the countertop pointing into his kitchen or out into his dining room, so he gets like both directions. No low end at all. Zero fucking low end. Beautifully built though. Really delicate, like treble, like for what it was trying to do, like be a little baby ohm, omnidirectional. Super fucking respected those, and now they're just fucking gone, and I hate it. Somebody please bring back Mirage Nanostats or anything, because it's just, those were so cool to just put somewhere in a corner and it would just emit sound in every direction. They needed a sub real bad though, real bad. Boom, Audio-Technica 802000X. The headphones I bought myself for moving into this apartment. To this day, I had to change the drivers out because I fucked up when I made them detachable wire. But I think the drivers for those were like $130 for the pair, and there's a $500 pair of headphones. Made in Japan, put the big fucking Alpha Dog pads on it. Just accuracy in imaging. Absolutely still relevant to this day. In fact, someone asked me, well, all right, no holds barred, best gaming headphone. I still point them at this. I still point at that one. With 5 more years of shit, I point at that one. Because it's a little bit bass light, but once you change the pads, you get this like fucking irrational amounts of imaging detail that like bullet whizzes scare the shit out of you. The only thing that came close to that was 660s. And that was only when they were balanced and only when you turn up to murder volumes. Like those headphones scare the shit out of me. They actually, they are the line of treble. The treble line that's like, oh, too much. The review for the Wavecrest HVL1s. Those are a Wavecrest HVL1. They're only sold on Wavecrest, I think. Z also linked to the webpage in the description. And those speakers, those exact speakers, are in the back seat of my car. Because on my stereo in my Caprice is a piece of shit, and there's no way to control the head unit without you have to put a CD in. There's no auxiliary or anything. So I just have like an inverter and an SMSL amp and just a pair of fucking speakers in the back seat. Super ghetto. Like, that's my life. I don't care. I don't take anyone in my back seats. And I like the fact that it's a front ported box with really delicate tweeters. And I swear to God, if you sit in my car and you don't know what's going on and I turn it up, you're like, wow, it sounds really good in here. Oh yeah, because home speakers are better than car speakers. There, I've said it. So you ever gonna do car audio? Even with a garage and this new house, I probably don't give a shit about car audio still. That's like a whole subgenre. That's like cooking. And then someone says, yes, but are you a horse doctor? That's how different it is. That's how different car audio is from just this. It may as well be like, oh, are you a fucking militant botanist who goes into war-torn countries to grow plants? Or car audio? It's the same amount of difference between those two fucking fields. You'd have to start from zero to do car audio. I'd have to start from zero. The Shane A1RXC. This is a really interesting period of my life because both of those were sent to me by the companies. Both of them, actually, no, the Wavecrest, they never asked them back. The Shanes wanted them back. But the Shanes, they're still relevant. They still pop up. The Wavecrest is still relevant. I still use them. I could replace them with the Kefs if I want to go like full on fuck you front port in the back seat of my car. Like, yeah, I'm upgrading my car sound system. I put Kefs in the back of there, but I would never. The Wavecrest have held up in the sun and the winter. Summer and winter for 5 years in the back seat of my car. If that doesn't prove to you how good a speaker it is. And the Shanes were sharp. They were like one of the first ones to have an AMT fucking grill. And they did not have it tuned very well. And I gave them absolute praise. I remember giving them praise for home theater. Because when you were watching a movie at a fucking loud sound, it was fine. As soon as you put on a woman singing, which is like stereo, it was less fine. I think they've improved since then. The guy who ran Shane was a little off too. He was very, very angry. But they were very pretty speakers. I would love to have tried. People kept trying to get me to review the towers. And here's what I did: the ABC speaker test rig, where I could switch between 3 different speakers. Those are like TX. I don't think those are any relevant speakers. Those little Wavecrests, those Emotivas that are down there, the XRM 6.2s, and the TAC L265H. Wow, I really shouldn't know all these numbers and letters. No wonder I can't learn anything new. My brain's, yeah, HVL1, the ARC, oh, there was, and the H265B. Fuck. Hey, building the projection screen. That's going to be interesting because I have to take mine apart. Unless you want to rent my apartment. I'm serious, contact me. There's a contact in the About page. I'm to the northwest of Philly, about 8 miles from city center on the main line with a SEPTA train. And I pay less than $1,000 a month for this front apartment. You want to live here, don't you? If you want to live here, message me. Because if I can get a new renter in before the landlord kicks me out, I could probably leave a bunch of stuff that the landlord would ask me to take or remove. And if it's like, no, but the Jim's going to stay here now, right, Jim? Sign the contract, Jim. Bye. And this way I could just leave it. Like, I want to leave all my track lights. I'm going to take a bunch of the fixtures, but I want to leave track lights. And what else have I modified? Like, I took doors off. And I probably have to put the doors back on. It's just weird stuff that I don't want to deal with. Because if you could find a tenant, they don't care. There's like holes I need to patch. There's work that needs to be done in this apartment, but I feel like if I bring them a tenant, they're not going to make me undo the whole thing. You'd have to move in between September and October, though. Like, I think October would be like the longest they'd wait for someone. I shouldn't be wasting everyone's time on this, but yeah. In case you haven't heard, by the way, I bought a house and I'm moving. It's just that these videos, these like reviews, these don't have to go to the patrons, so they don't have to wait in the queue because no one's benefiting from these. So just give it to the whole community. Hey. Sandy Mayflower, who used to be the girl who lived in the other apartment that I rented, but she didn't pay her rent for 4 or 5 months, lied to me about it, said, oh no, I'm just moving on, and the landlord just bitched at me about how much she didn't fucking pay her rent. I made her fat too. I cooked for her all the time. Yep, that's what you do. It's when you're around me, I just make you fat. The Takstar Pro80s. I'm wearing leather gloves. I don't know what phase I was in when I did that, but I was super badass. I wore like finger cut off leather weightlifting gloves. And those were, I don't even know what I would say is they are the genesis of. The Takstar Pro82s, which I still have a pair and love. This is a much less refined set of those. Closed back, bassy, sort of dull. But 5 years ago, closed back, there's not much else. There was not much else to even pick from. So, I mean, that's a thing. Oh, by the way, that's the wife acceptance factor video where I walked her through like a bunch of speakers and she's picked out what she likes visually. So, I mean, I guess that works if you care about that sort of thing. The AKG, wow, the K7XXs are that old? Because those are fucking solid headphones. Link to those in the description. I have a set that I'm going to put in the yard sale, but the owner was a cigar smoker, so they sort of have a thing going about them. I'm trying to get them to not have that, but it looks like I'm going to have to just sell them as is. Yeah, K7XXs are the slightly less 712s, and they were like half the price of 712s at the time. So bravo to the AKG for even just keeping those things alive. And now, I think we're going to end it on the FiiO, yeah, the FiiO X1 PMP. I don't remember. No. Could you imagine, of all the things that I've looked at in these review videos, portable players are the most archaic things when you look at the old versus the new. Like 2000Xs, absolutely still go for them. I look at the Pro 80s and go, the Pro 82s are better. But the FiiO X1 portable media player, or the Sansa Clip, pass. Everything new is better. Everything new is better. Like multiple generations better. That's the most techie thing that's improved. That or IEMs. And I haven't even done an IEM yet. So we're still 5 years ago on episode 4 of review. And I will try to link this wallpaper in the description for everyone. And I'll give you the classic spiel. I'm probably going to try to release one of these like once a week, maybe once every 10 days. And as I'm doing that, I'll be moving into the house at some point. So you're going to get 4 or 5 of these in a row that I'm going to film here, probably the next day or 2. Maybe I'll film another one right after this, so I'll keep yawning. No yawn. Thank you for supporting this channel throughout the years. This is like my first video that's coming out when I paid all the rent from people who support me on Patreon and Subscribestar, and people who use the links that I provide in the description. And everybody who says thank you, and everyone who joined Hi-Fi Guides and uses that, like, this is a community more than anything else. I'm not going to be a little baby and cry. I do plan on doing, by the way, people have been asking, where's the Chewbacca review? Before I destroy this apartment fully, while Chewbacca is still comfortable here, I will redux a Chewbacca review and blend that with a final apartment tour walkthrough thing where I say goodbye to everything. So look forward to that. It's probably going to be a sad fucking video. But we got much bigger, better things in the future. Hopefully Chewbacca acclimates pretty well. I shouldn't even have to say it, but Patreon and Subscribestar, available in the description and in the pinned comment at the top. You guys literally make this channel go. And your support and your ideas and all your questions are what make me understand what I have to do in the future. So it's wonderful. So those 2 things are down there. The benefits are, see these reviews early. Not this review. This review just went public. But any reviews, you can see them early in case I really like something. And therefore you can get it, in line before anyone else. Ask me any questions you want on platform. Keep the questions short, but you can just message me on either one of those. And then participate in the yard sale, which might be broken for August because move. And I don't know if I could shuffle boxes to ship to people and boxes that are on moving trucks all at the same time. So there may not be a yard sale, or there'll be a very reduced length yard sale. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But those are the $5 benefits. The $10 benefit is the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, which has known about the house for a long time and have seen pictures of it, and we've discussed how I'm laying things out. So they're the behind-the-scenes group, and they're a great bunch of guys and a couple girls, and they have wonderful opinions or terrible opinions, but it doesn't matter because, I trust them with information first and foremost. And like I had to pick up like the sponsorship when why am I still talking? 25 minutes passed a long time ago. Anyway, that's that. Don't forget to check out Hi-Fi Guides and the forums. Thank you for everyone who supported me on all the platforms and everything. And I will be back tomorrow for another review like every day, every fucking day, every goddamn day. I hope you guys didn't get sick from the motion stabilization I put on. Now I gotta find that wallpaper to upload to the internet. I'll see you tomorrow.